Are you stressed often and working all the time? Well, I constantly have these issues, and I've been recently inspired by Focus Your Way to Freedom by Jackie Toombs. And honestly, great book. She's a property investor, and I got a little bit inspired by one of her chapters, chapter 10, which is all about how she managed to live the life she wants to live. Obviously, she's made her money through property and stuff, but what's really cool is she talks about making a holiday every 6 weeks, which is really cool. And I was sort of inspired by that because obviously everyone's got their own goals and stuff, but she had like a very specific goal and she wanted to do that. And she actually thought, oh, maybe every like 2 months was maybe a bit too long, but every month is a bit too often, sort of thing. So that's why she settled on this every 6 weeks. But what she's managed to do is she's built a business and she's got the time freedom and the money freedom to be able to do that. And I just want to talk about how she managed to do that and basically her step-by-step plan on how she achieved it. In chapter 10, she gives her freedom formula, and it's a 4-step plan. Step 1 is create your vision for your ideal life. So what that means is get very specific and detailed on exactly where you want to be. You need to have a very clear vision. What Jackie speaks about in the book is fast forward yourself, like imagine yourself in like 10 years time and picture exactly what you want to be doing day to day. So think about how many hours of work you want to be doing. Think about the sort of work you want to be doing. Where will you be spending your free time? You know, with your friends, your family, on your different hobbies, or like, let's say the gym, how much you're going to be giving back. And think about how often you want to be doing these things as well. So get really specific, and it's absolutely fine to be dreaming big. That's not the issue here. That's actually completely okay. It could feel like a million miles away, but the most important thing is just get clear on exactly what you want. So we need to define that in step 1. Step 2, we need to decide on your priorities. Now, Jackie says choose 2 to 3 max of those certain aspects of the goals that you've written. But I would actually just say, just focus on one. Pick one that's the most important thing. And of course, let's say you're where you are today. You're not going to achieve like that goal tomorrow. So what we need to do is break it down and focus on exactly how we're going to get there. For example, let's say you want to be going gym every day and currently you're not going at all. What she's saying is just focus on that one aspect and say, right, let's start getting into the habit of going once a week. Let's try to achieve that. And then once you've got into the habit of doing that, then you can build on that and start going twice a week and then 3 times a week. And so that's how you'll slowly get there. But just focus on one at a time and slowly, hopefully, then you'll be working on all of those aspects. On step 3, we need to now start time blocking the space to make these priorities happen now. So what we want to do is you want to look at your sort of yearly calendar. Like I usually use Google Calendar. It's quite useful. Jackie she actually got an actual paper calendar and stuff and started blocking out certain dates for certain things. But what you need to do is you need to make space for it, even for the small tasks and of course the big tasks as well. Because usually what happens is if you don't plan to do a certain thing, then something else fills that gap, which, you know, like for example, work starts filling it. So what you need to do is you need to protect that time in order, so then you are able to achieve those goals. So then what you can do is plan that out. And again, you don't need to plan so far in advance. But for example, let's say you want to start going gym, then plan out your week. Yeah, and say, okay, I'm going to go gym on this day. And then you block it out and make sure it's a non-negotiable then. So once you have got it in the calendar, make sure you stick to it. And finally, in step 4, we need to cascade those priorities from your vision to your week. So we got the vision, which is like that 10-year goal. But then what we now need to do is break it down into what should we achieve in like 1 year in a 12-month period, and work out exactly what needs to be done in a year's time, like within a year, to then eventually get to that 10-year goal. But then once you've got that, what we should do is then break that down into like quarterly priorities as well. And what she says is like, you know, pick the 3 to 5 biggest priorities for that quarter. And then from that, you can get monthly actions, again, 3 to 5 key actions, and finally get that down into your weekly priorities. So then you know what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And again, these are just all very small tasks. Just do the 1%, and slowly, that's going to build up. And what you want to be doing is you want to review this, of course, like, so for example, your monthly actions will give you your weekly priorities, but what you don't want to be doing, you don't want to be planning for like ages in advance. Just look at the first year, just look at the first quarter, the first month, and just your week basically. And then that way, then you'll be able to just it's sort of like bite-sized chunks is the idea. Just take it step by step. Make sure you're writing these priorities down so they're very clear exactly what you need to do. Now you might be thinking, how am I going to achieve all this? You know, I might get distracted quite easily. I personally do as well. But what you want to be doing is eat the frog first. So get the hardest task done, the highest priority thing that you need done first thing. You know, if you're planning your week, get it done on Monday. Get it done first thing. You know, so get that done over anything else, because usually then we end up getting distracted throughout the day and your brain energy depletes, and then you haven't got enough like mental capacity to actually get that stuff done. So just get it done first, and then usually what happens is if you get like, if you know, then you've achieved already a lot in the morning, the rest of the day goes by amazing, because like you already know you're pretty happy with with what you've achieved. And then you know, because you also know it's always for a bigger goal, so you know you're getting there. I'll give some other tips as well that Jackie gives. So she says turn off your phone notifications as well, because again, that thing's buzzing all the time, especially with like the instant gratification age that we live in right now, where it's just so easy to pick up the phone and scroll on Instagram. Just, you know, honestly, get rid of anything that distracts you. Make sure, as I said, prioritize the most important tasks, and then also time block for smaller tasks as well. So even like checking emails and stuff, or chasing up on like, let's say, WhatsApps and stuff, block in some time for that if you want to, rather than just you constantly doing it every time you get a notification. Actually let people wait. You know, at the end of the day, you might need to tell your friends, you know, I'm not going to be like, how do I say, you know, able to reply straight away, because at the end of the day, you have to make a choice between if you want to achieve your goals or if you're not. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you do actually manage to implement this and achieve your goals. So, you know, at the end of the day, let's make a holiday every 6 weeks happen. Thank you.